Hello from Brooklyn. Just got a quick update on the detour I've taken away from publishing book 3 as soon as I could. It's been an interesting month. But first, I want to say today's t-shirt is from My Hero Academia, courtesy again of the Walmart t-shirt store. And today is a really hot and sultry Wednesday in Brooklyn. It's going to be 30 centigrade, which is around 90 Fahrenheit, and really, really humid. Ugh, can't stand this weather. All right. Last video I was talking about the developmental edit process I was going through with book 3, the Genesis engine. What came out of that developmental edit, if you remember, was a spreadsheet that outlined some of the writing tics and issues I have. One of those was stage direction. What that means is I tended to write a lot of detail about what the characters are doing, as in they were walking here and they were walking there and looking up at the ceiling, and too much description. As you know, I like my books to be really, really, really tight. So after I got developmental edit done, and it's now out with the copy editor, I had a few weeks, and I thought I would quickly go back and look at my other books and see if I had those issues. Now, Paradise Factory is really pretty clean. There isn't much in that needed changing. But remember, I wrote, even though this is book 1, I wrote this after this Automatic Eden. I finished this book maybe 3-4 years ago, and I hadn't really read it much since then, even though my development as a writer has improved. And it was really interesting. I think overall the story is really strong and the world is really strong, but there were definitely some issues with it. And what I found was, as it was the first book I wrote in this series, I had a lot of world building at the start. For those of you who can remember, Alice is unemployed and she gets invited back into the police for one more job. No spoilers. But for that process to happen was a lot of text, a lot of writing. She's unemployed, she meets her old boss, she goes into the city, she gets a job back, and then she goes to the Crazy Horse to meet the professor. It was like 5 or 6 chapters before you really got into the meat of the story. So I worked through and I've edited that almost completely out of the book. She starts off as unemployed, she meets a boss, and the story gets going with a bang like that. So it really connects through from the Paradise Factory. It's much tighter. And there were other sections in the book, mainly exposition areas, that I also had problems with. And by problems, I mean, you'd get the story building, it would get rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling, and then there'd be a big hard break. And a lot of that was me working through in my head the implications of, eternal life through reprinting, kind of capitalist nirvana, being able to live forever. Another one of those was when Alice goes to meet Charles Takamatsu and the Cortex headquarters. A lot of dialogue, a lot of discussions about the nature of mortality. Stuff which I thought was really interesting, but really cut down the flow of the book. That's gone out. Later on, no spoilers, Alice is in Washington, something happens, and then again there's a chunk of exposition after that, another 5,000 words, that's gone out as well. And what that ended up doing is I've cut out around 17,000 words out of the novel. And to give you an example of what that is, that's around 55 pages worth. So this is the original version. And I've got this bookmark in at page 55. So you can see, this is the amount of words I've taken out of the story without really affecting the plot at all. What that has done is it's made the book much tighter and much more coherent working with the Paradise Factory. These now really read as one book connecting together, and the Genesis engine will come along and make this trilogy a really solid piece of work, I hope. So I finished all of that editing yesterday and I've uploaded it to Amazon. Now the challenge is if you have the ebook already, Amazon will not update it with version 2. You have to make it do that for you, and that's a little bit complicated. And so I'll put details in a blog post and in an email and underneath this video as well, so you can get access to book 2 easier. And you know it's book 2 because right at the start it says, this Automatic Eden, book 2, and in brackets, version 2. So it's version 2 you want. So if you haven't read Automatic Eden in a long time, or you started to read it and found it just too slow at the beginning, then please give it another go, try version 2. I think you'll really like it. Okay, a few days time, I should be getting back book 3 from the copy editor, a couple of weeks to write through that. Proofreader, then it's going to be out. So month to 6 weeks, that trilogy will be complete. So thank you so much for bearing with me during this time. Everybody stay safe out there and have a fantastic weekend. Thank you.